Hello, welcome to Obox. This is part 2 of creating a simple mobile application. In the previous video, we have created a simple login page. Now we're going to connect it to Google's Firebase Authentication. Firebase started in 2010 as a startup company with their first product, the Firebase Real-Time Database, an API that synchronizes application data across iOS, Android, and web devices, storing it in Firebase Cloud. After being acquired by Google in 2014, Firebase is an app development platform that helps you build and grow apps and games users love, backed by Google and trusted by millions of businesses around the world. Let's go to the Firebase console. Start by creating a project. Enter your project's name. And just click on Continue. Choose the location. And click on the Create project. Go to the project overview. Click on Add App. Choose Web. Enter your app nickname. Click Register App. You need to install the Firebase libraries in your project. Copy this code. Go to your project's terminal. Let's copy the API keys. In the environment.ts folder, paste the keys. In the login.page.ts, let's create the two global variables email and password. In order to bind the global variables to your HTML view, we will be using Angular's ng model. Now go back to Firebase Authentication. Go to the Sign-in method. Let's enable the email and password sign-in provider. We will then create a sample user in Firebase. Click Add User. Key in a sample email and password. This is simulating when a user tries to register in your application. In order to connect to the Firebase Authentication, let's check the Firebase documentation. Navigate to More. Go to Docs. Expand Build. Choose Authentication. In the side menu, expand Web. Select Get Started. You need to first initialize Firebase in your application using the Initialize App method. After that, you need to get the authentication object using getAuth. Now copy the two imports. Paste the imports. Copy the initialized Firebase. Let's rename the app object. Pass the Firebase keys from the environment.ts. After Initialize App, get the auth object. Pass the app object to the method getAuth. Go to the HTML. When the user clicks on the button Login, create a method to respond to click. Let's call this method LoginUser. Now we're ready to sign in the user. Go back to the documentation. Select Password Authentication. Import sign in with email and password. Copy the sign-in code. Put it inside the login user method. Pass the auth object. The global variables email and password. After sign in, it will return the user credentials. For now, let's write the result in the browser console. For error, write the error code and message in the console. Click Save. Now, let's login the user. Right-click the browser, choose Inspect, go to Console, and there you'll see the return data after the user signs in successfully. If a user tries to log into your application using an email which is not registered in the Firebase, it will return an error code and message, invalid credentials. Stay tuned for the next part of our tutorial.